I can sit down, start carving. We can have a nuke go off in Grand Marais and I'd never know it. I am totally at peace. If I can use my hands, it's just so relaxing that there's nothing like it. A lot of people can't find that. I'm Jim Vannet, over here at Hovland, Minnesota, and I'm a carver. I'll carve most anything. I'm supposedly retired. Well, I never worked so hard in my life, but I'm supposedly retired, yes, sir. Years ago, a lot of years ago, about 45 years ago, I was doing ice fishing, and I'm Scottish descent. So paying that much money for those doggone decoys was just ridiculous. And so I started carving my own decoys for ice fishing. Right now, there's maybe myself and 4 other people in the state of Minnesota that are carving them by hand anymore. It's just a dying art. But we tried to replicate what the natives helped the settlers in upper Minnesota get food in the winter. And this is somewhat what they have. What they do is they'd have their decoy. Now, they already dug a hole, got a hole in the ice. They cover themselves with a teepee with blanket or anything that will, go over the top to stop the light. And then they put a rock underneath their decoy for weight to take it under the water. And this is what they'd move with one hand and their spear in the other hand. It's the best alarm system you could have for fish, because if the lake has perch in it, you'll have 10 or 15,000 perch trying to eat that decoy, just bugging the heck out of you. And all of a sudden, you won't see any. Get your spear ready. Now there's a pike coming in on the decoy. And this is how they basically taught most of the early settlers how to get fish during the winter months. Now, of course, most all of them are plastic and this and that, but I wanted to make fish that, I had an old carver that told me right out, if you make fish, you better swim. So that I put lead in the internal part of the wood before I carve it, and that takes care of the buoyancy and brings it right down. And there's one over there next to you, that green redhead. That one, if I turn the tail just right, I move the fins right, it'll not only go up and down, but it'll go around in a circle under the ice. And people were using decoys 20, 30 years ago as a decor. So that's where I started, making them a little more fancier. And then all of a sudden I thought, why don't I make fish? I like fish. My whole goal in doing the fish is I really want them to look like fish. So I have a sealer that I use that looks like just came out of the lake, kind of wet. But if you don't do it that way, no, they don't look very well. And I'm not going to go through all the work of carving and painting unless it's going to come out pretty nice. That's my philosophy.
My name is Terry Nelson. I'm a volunteer at Johnson Heritage Post Art Gallery here in Grand Marais.
What are your favorite Jim Vannet pieces?
Well, the brook trout is absolutely my favorite, but he also does sculpting of rocks. If you look at the stone carving down on the lower shelf, those are gorgeous as well. But yeah, the brook trout is particularly gorgeous.
And what do you like about the brook trout?
I love how the metal catches the light, and I imagine it to be just like the fish would be in the water.
The hardest part for the trout family is to get the paint right. Most of the time I use an airbrush with enamel. If you look at the regular brook trout that you would find up in northern Minnesota, there you can see the oranges down here, but nothing on the head or on the sides. So they're just chameleons. Well, these fingers aren't very straight anymore because they're getting arthritic. Then I had carpal tunnel on both wrists. And then, of course, a new thumb bone. I had to get that resurrected so that I had just extreme pain whenever I would carve in my thumb. But I look at it that, in another couple of months, I'll be 3/4 of a century old. They're supposed to fall apart by now. The warranty's off. I mean, there's no question about that. I'll keep going as just bloody long as I can. That's my entertainment. We built this in 2004 and moved up here and loved it ever since. Haven't looked backwards. It's just been a beautiful place to live.